Welcome. I hope that you are doing well. By the end of this video, you will discover 3 of the top mistakes that sellers make when sourcing their items that they wish to sell on eBay. If you enjoy this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel where we talk about side hustles, passive income, and entrepreneurship. Let's dig into it. In the years that I have been selling online, I have had negative experiences with sourcing products, and I have seen other eBay sellers have negative experiences as well. And I wanted to just go through just a couple of these that you might encounter as you go along. And one of the reasons I wanted to share this information with you is that it can be discouraging if something doesn't go the way you had expected. And you might decide that if something negative happens to you with one source, so one way of getting products, that you might decide not to do that anymore. So some things can go wrong when you are sourcing items, and I wanted to just cover a couple of those. One example I wanted to share is if you were doing local auctions. So this is where you do local auctions, but you want to buy the products online. So you're on AuctionZip and you find an online auction in your area. You look at the catalog and you find some items that you buy and you go ahead and purchase them. Then you go to pick up your items and they're not in the condition that you hoped they had been. So this is a very common problem when you're buying items that you haven't seen. So anytime you're sourcing used items and they're online and you haven't actually seen the products, this is a risk you run. So there are a couple ways to remedy this. One is that most of these online auctions have an inspection period before the auction, so you can look and see when they have, kind of like an open house where you can come and look at the items. You're not bidding on them; you're just going to look at them, and they usually run them 1 or 2 days and a couple hours each, so that you can have time to look at those auctions. Another way to minimize this risk is to lower the bid that you want to win the item for. So expect that there's going to be a little bit of minor blemishes or scratches or something on the items that you did not see in the pictures, and keep that in mind when you're bidding, so that you're happy with the price that you pay for the items. Those are 2 ways to remedy that. Again, it does happen. And there have been times where I've bought something and it was not in the condition I'd hoped for. So again, don't be too discouraged when that happens. It's just part of whenever you're looking for things online. That's one reason why I'm a big proponent of, when you are listing an item on eBay, to take pictures of every angle and list every flaw, because a buyer is very interested in what the condition is. So that's one possible problem that you might encounter as you're buying items to sell on eBay. Another one is, let's say you are sourcing something from Alibaba or from another wholesale site, not necessarily Alibaba, but anywhere where you are buying wholesale goods. The main problem that you might run into is that if you are taking the items for delivery, you might run into very, very long shipping delays, and it could go even longer than what you are expecting. So it might say it's a month, and it might take it 2 months or 3 months. And so this can be a big problem for your cash flow. So one way to remedy this is to start out small. When you're on Alibaba or on another wholesale site, buy a small order, see how long it takes that distributor to have the items get to you. And once you have worked with 1 or 2 or 3 that you trust, and you know, okay, it's going to take 3 weeks for my items to get to me, then you can start placing larger orders with those distributors. Again, you will find there are ones you want to work with, ones you don't want to work with. Another way to help avoid this problem is to really pay close attention to the feedback on these sites. A lot of them will have feedback of the sellers, and you will see if anyone's left any negative feedback on shipping time or shipping fees or anything like that. So this is a pretty common problem that you can run into. And again, from the beginning, I would suggest starting small so that you can form those relationships, and then you'll find out, again, who are the trustworthy and reputable sellers to continue to work with. Lastly, I wanted to address one problem that some sellers run into when they're sourcing items, and that is if you're doing like a liquidation lot where you're buying a bunch of merchandise that you haven't seen, and it comes to your door, and the items weren't quite what you expected. So maybe you bought a liquidation lot and you didn't know what would be in the box, but you found out later that it wasn't any very high valued items. Again, the one reason this happens is because when you're purchasing these items, it is a bit of a gamble that you're taking on the items that you're going to receive. So same recommendations, start off small, find out the liquidation companies that sell high quality merchandise or merchandise that you want to resell on eBay, and then continue to work with those companies. It takes a while to find them, but once you found ones that you like for selling the products that you want to sell, those relationships will be very important for your ongoing success. So these are just a couple of the things that can go wrong. Mostly I covered things that would go wrong when buying online, things that you haven't seen. And again, just remember that you're purchasing things that somebody is selling, and so there can be error in listing their items or those kinds of things, and so it does happen. And sometimes things get damaged on their way to you, and all of this is part of being an online reseller. And so just account that these things are going to happen. And so as you're starting, start off small and then grow from there. Build your relationships, and then you can grow. Place bigger orders at that point. You now know some of the mistakes to avoid when sourcing your items to sell on eBay. Again, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. You can also find my eBay complete course on Udemy, which covers everything from A to Z on how to sell on eBay. I'll leave a link in the description box below this video. Thank you again, and I will see you in the next video.